This afternoon, you're listening to the Todd LaBorwit Show, Real Estate Radio and Salem Broadcast Network, WRC 1260 AM. I'm your host, Todd LaBorwit. This segment is brought to you by Topaz Mortgage, our preferred partner for mortgage brokering. In the studio with us now is Rich DiPippo, a partner over at Meltzer Group. He works with business owners, key executives, and families to help clarify their objectives and take action. Rich believes in a holistic approach to planning and works with many local attorneys, CPAs, and wealth management advisors to guide clients through the planning process. It's so great to have you here, Rich.
Well, it's great to be here, Todd.
And, I've worked with you. You've helped me with me and my wife for life insurance. You explained it all to us. And we've been trying to connect it with the wills and the trust. And I wanted to bring you in to kind of get into a little bit more of how you helped us and how we're kind of stuck a little bit.
Well, oftentimes people get stuck because it's not something we necessarily want to think about, but it's important to do it correctly, and it's something we're constantly have to do. It's not something you do, put it away, and never, and then 30 years from now it works because laws change, things change. So we have to constantly, you have to have a relationship with your advisors on a yearly or a basis. Have a quick checkup or what have you. You go see your doctor every year. You should be seeing your financial people every year.
Now, when you say your financial people, are we talking about the stockbroker? Are we talking about the certified financial planner? Where do you fit in? Because you have a whole different approach.
Well, I think you need to meet with everyone. You meet with your CPA once a year, I hope. At least, right? And you should meet with your money managers or your advisors, and advisors include your insurance people, money managers, and your estate planning attorney. A checkup, things change. I have another kid. I inherit some money. Something happens to one of my beneficiaries, what have you. I need to update things. And sometimes it could just be a quick phone conversation, and sometimes it's an actual, get-together meeting.
Now, Rich, the products that you work with are life insurance.
Well, we work with all insurance products. Life insurance is one of them. If I'm a homeowner, or if I'm someone that, I want to make sure I have the proper disability. I want to make sure I have the proper life insurance, I have proper employee benefits, supplemental benefits, long-term care. These are all things that can affect my financial situation.
And what's interesting is there's a lot of people that sell these products, and with our show, we have real estate agents on that actually live and breathe their product. And you actually live and breathe this every day, being who you are. It's this is your. Some people have this as a side product.
Well, I've been doing this for almost 30 years now, and I've seen the power of the products that we sell and how they help families and individuals through situations. So it's part of the process. The products are just filling a need. We have this need if something happens if these things happen to us, how is my family taken care of? How are my children taken care of? And then working with the attorneys and CPAs and making sure the whole plan makes sense.
But what's making you different than all these other people? Because you do stand out when it comes to these products.
We work with the marketplace. We take care of people across and work with all companies out there. What makes us stand out is we take a holistic approach, and we're not worried about making the sale. We want clients to be happy with us, and then they're going to buy product because it's the right thing for them, not because we told them it's the product they need. And so it's a process, and if you keep it as a process, then you're not just a salesman, you're an advisor. And when you're on that side of the table with a client as an advisor, it's a lot better place to be.
I think that's the key, because now that I think about it, it is the advising approach that you take.
It's a lot more fun. Believe me, early in my career, I was the sales type, or I was being trained to be that. And when I became more of the planner type and on the consulting side of the business with clients, it's a lot more fun.
And you're very direct. I remember when my wife and I came in, I sat down and said, "Hey, Rich, can you try to get this for me?" And you came in, and it made everything very peaceful and
Well, I think my industry has made our business a lot more complicated than it is. Life insurance is buying money, and I've told you this, the younger I buy it, the cheaper it is, and most people don't get healthier as they get older, right? So at the end of the day, it's better to buy it young, and it's going to be less expensive in the long run. We make it seem way more complicated. There's all these illustration games and everything, and it's really cut and dry. How do I want to take care of my family? What are my things I need to protect? And what's the best product for me?
Wonderful. By the way, if you're just tuning in, I have with me Rich DiPippo, partner over at the Meltzer Group. I'm your host, Todd LaBorwit, and you're listening to Salem Broadcast Network, WRC 1260 AM. Now, Rich, one thing that I've always been telling our listeners is we work with Alleggi Anderson to do all the wills for everyone. And I'm doing mine with my wife, and we get stuck, and we talk to the Karen and Jody, and kind of they get us moving forward a little bit. But we still get a little bit stuck, and then we move forward, and then we get stuck a little bit. What is your take on getting started with the life insurance? If something happens,
well, I think you have to meet with someone and say, okay, this is the plan, and we know we need protection. We need a document that ties it all in, and we need to make sure it makes sense from an accounting and cost standpoint. And most people get stuck on the will part because they overanalyze. They'll get a draft, they'll overanalyze it. They're worrying about, well, I got to name 4 different guardians and 3 different trustees and all this stuff. And you really don't need to do that because you can always come back and update it. So it's like, who do I want to be the guardian? Who do I want to be the trustee? And there's a mechanism to change it. But, 95% of the time you're going to have a ability if something happens to one of those people to change it on your own. So it's people overanalyze it. It's just like they overanalyze life insurance or they overanalyze products. You got to go to someone you trust, that they know what they're doing, and trust their opinion. And if I need a realtor, I'm going to trust a realtor. If I need a plumber, I'm going to trust a plumber. Don't overthink it. Just get what you think are good people and trust them to give you the right advice.
Now, Rich, how do you know who to trust? There's so many people out there that have the life and health license.
Well, 'cause there's a lot of good people in my industry. I think it's people that have experience, referrals from people whether it's being an advisor or a family member that worked with us or someone, and then meet with that person. And it has to be comfortable. I'm not right for every person I meet. But, I think most of the people we work with end up doing business with us because they're happy we're thorough in the process. And if someone just immediately is throwing product in front of you, that's not the right person. I'm telling you, it needs to be an holistic type plan. And I know several colleagues in my industry that do it that way. So there are a lot of people out there you can find to do it the right way.
Now, when you talk about doing it the right way, what are the advice that you would give to younger people in the industry?
Is that everything should be a plan, and if you take your time and do it the right way, you're going to have clients for life. In other words, if I just sell product, that doesn't work. If I make it part of a plan and I'm become that trusted advisor to the client, then they're always coming to me. I have people that are very successful, business owners, distinguished law professors. They don't do anything without calling me. And I'm not talking about insurance. I'm talking about anything. And it's because that we've built up that trust with them, and we've given them good, sound advice, sent them to the right partners in the plan, advisors. And so we want that relationship. And any advisor in my business can get there.
And anyone that comes to you as you being the advisor, you're working with their attorneys that are putting together the wills and the trust.
Right. We'll work with their people, their attorneys or CPAs, or if they need referrals, we'll refer them, and we go to all meetings. So I go to all meetings with the wealth management, all meetings with the attorneys, all meetings with the CPAs that are necessary to get everything done. You want a team, and when you as an individual have a team, you feel a whole lot better about everything that's been put together because now it's not just one person you're telling, it's everyone telling. It's like when you buy a house, you want the right team looking at it, you want the right inspector, you want everything putting together, the right mortgage person helping you put everything together, and then we come in after the fact and help you protect it.
It's an amazing concept because you talk about it like it's so natural, but it doesn't exist out there, what you have.
Oh, it exists.
I don't see it.
Well, it takes time. People have to be patient on my side of the table, but it's the right way to do it. And I've trained our guys to do it. It's if you go into a meeting with an advisor, it's just like if you went to a meeting with an estate planning attorney and they suddenly started throwing documents in front of you, you'd say, well, wait a minute, you haven't asked me any questions. Same thing with an insurance guy. Same thing with a money manager. Money manager comes out and says, these are the 5 funds for you. How do you know what my risk tolerance is? What what do I want? What are my goals for myself and my family? So those are the only people I surround myself with as advisors, and it's the way I conduct my business. So I know it can be found out there by the consumer. We're there, so believe me, we'll take on more clients all the time.
Now, Rich, for our listeners, like, does everyone have a will out there? What's their percentages?
Listen, Todd, 70-80% people I meet, business executives, business owners, middle America, they don't have wills, or they have outdated wills. You yourself, you have a kid, you don't have a will. It's not that you're irresponsible.
Well, we're in the process of working on it.
But it's hard, but you didn't have it till we pushed you to, hey, you got to get this done. And it's because you sat down with us and we said, this needs to be done. You need to do this. And so we're willing to sit down with anyone who needs help, whether they have a plan or not, and help them put a strategy together that's right for them and their family.
Perfect. Well, what I'd like to offer you, our listeners, is the opportunity to get in touch with Rich DiPippo over at the Meltzer Group. Just call or text me at 301-467-8444. That number again is 301-467-8444. And I love working with Leggie Anderson. My wife and I, we get stuck a little bit.
Well, we got to get you moving and unstuck. But at least you've started the process.
Correct.
And that's the important thing.
And you'll love meeting them. They're an incredible
That's awesome.
group.
Awesome. Look forward to it.
Well, Rich, thanks so much for being here.